Radio and on ESPN2. Amber and Ian.
I find myself not hating the Cowboys, like almost rooting for them. I think because there was so much piling on, and a lot of people did hate the Brian Schottenheimer hire, and I actually liked it. And people were so loud about the Micah Parsons trade. I mean, we're a couple games away from Jerry not looking so crazy.
Hold on.
What
Jerry's always going to look a little crazy.
All right, he's always going to look a little crazy.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Exclusively on ESPN, UFC 323, Saturday, December 6th. Reigning bantamweight champion, Merab Dvalishvili defends his belt in a rematch against former interim champion, Piotr Yan. And reigning flyweight champion, Alexandre Pantoja, puts his title on the line against number one contender.
6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. The Rich Eisen Show.
It's not working right now. Gino, is he the quarterback of the future? That's the tough thing, is when you have 2 wins entering week 12 and your quarterback of the future is most likely not on the roster. And it's laudatory that you've got a coach who's taking the credit because he's trying to protect the quarterback, who's taking the blame because he wants to protect the coach. That's all admirable. But when it comes down to it, what does Tom Brady think of it?
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. Hey, did you miss Clinton and Friends?
The Colts acquired star quarterback Sauce Gardner from the New York Jets in exchange for 2 first-round draft picks. We've been talking about the Colts a little bit here and there. We've been talking about whether or not Daniel Jones is going to be able to get it done, whether or not people should be whispering or saying aloud the word Super Bowl in Indianapolis. And now they're all in.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Earlier on Clinton and Friends.
Some level of cohesion matters because the opponents are only getting tougher. I don't think the Eagles are a bad team by any stretch, and I don't think this is a super problem from my standpoint. But I do think if players inside the organization or other people are visibly and audibly frustrated, they got to figure that out. That's the kind of thing that'll make a team crumble from the inside.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Every weekday, sports fans tune in to Wake Up with Jack Fitzpatrick. Power Through Work with Matt Josephs at 3. Drive Home with Bob Black at 5. Loyal audiences, daily engagement. That's the power of talk radio. That's the power of 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Want to advertise for Richmond Talk Sports? Call 804-330-5700 or email espnrva@summitmediacorp.com. Radio works. Sports radio works better. Studies show sports talk listeners are more engaged, more loyal, and more likely to support brands they hear on the air. Want your next ad campaign to drive real results? Partner with 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Your home for local sports, loyal fans, and smart advertising. Contact us at 804-330-5700 or espnrva@summitmediacorp.com.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. But when we introduce a new stimulus, Save the Food, we're helping to stop food waste. Save the Food. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Chiefs ruled out a trio of key contributors for their Thanksgiving Day game against the Cowboys. Right guard Trey Smith, tight end Noah Gray, and cornerback Chris Roland Wallace. Dallas receiver George Pickens limited in the one practice during this short week with knee and calf issues, but he's set to play, and he's part of the biggest matchup for tomorrow's game, explains ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday.
At some point, you got to stop explosive plays on the back end, and whether it's CeeDee Lamb, whether it's Pickens, whether it's Ferguson, Dak Prescott is putting the ball on these guys, and it's yards after catch. Can they do that? Can they limit that? Because defense wins championships, and we're getting into championship time. That's just the reality of what it is.
The Chiefs are 10th in the AFC, Cowboys 10th in the NFC. Falcons receiver Drake London will likely miss a second straight game Sunday against the Jets with a PCL strain in his left knee. The NCAA Men's and Women's Basketball Oversight Committee has proposed shorter transfer windows to 15 days after the end of the men's and women's NCAA tournaments. If approved, they would go into effect in April of 2026.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you why what we see on Turkey Day will impact the playoff picture. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Check this out, y'all. Audio levels full volume. It's go time.
This is Border to Border with Matt Josephs.
He's super famous.
This guy's a fraud, a phony.
I respect women. I love women. I respect them so much that I completely stay away from them.
Matt, your manliness is overwhelming.
Sports. Audio levels full volume. It's go time.
Here's Matt Josephs on Richmond's 106.1 ESPN.
Good afternoon, everybody. Border to Border, 106.1 ESPN. Matt Josephs here. As we close up the week, let's be honest, no one's going to be here Thursday. No one's going to be here Friday. So, in order to do that, as part of my victory last week, with Thomas Dale getting the victory over Manchester, I won the rights to Feel Good Thursday for this week.
Wow.
So we're doing Feel Good Thursday on a Wednesday here with Border to Border. So Sean Robertson and Rob Witham are joining me in studio. Guys, did you know that you were the prize for me last week because Thomas Dale beat Manchester?
I did not know that.
No idea.
I had no idea. So So if Manchester had won, who was gonna?
It probably would have been me anyway, but I wouldn't have taunted Bob with the fact that he had the losing coach on and I had the winning one on because I had Thomas Dale on last week.
But then Bob can brag that he's in Florida and you're here in Virginia.
Yeah, but I'm with you guys.
That is true.
I'm here with you two.
You got the better end of the deal.
I think so. Yeah.
And if he brings those swag and chocolate, then that's
another story.
Yeah. Neither of you have heard of Terry's Chocolate, right?
I have not heard of Terry's Chocolate.
Okay. Yeah.
But
well,
we
will
good?
this week.
It's really good chocolate.
Who knows? I've added you to the list now. Bob's got to bring me chocolate and you two chocolate.
Absolutely. If we're doing previewing state semifinals, the chocolate should be here next week, I would think.
I would think so.
Hopefully Bob is listening.
Yeah,
probably not. He's probably on the beach, doing this, working on his assignment this week.
That's
right. He said he was going to do the mashup hour with me, and then he's like, well, I'll do a half hour. Probably, exactly.
What up? Nah, never mind.
Reservations at 5:30.
Yes, yes. Work is already done. Let's just enjoy the rest of the night.
Before we get to the high school stuff, we've been talking about it all week, Rob. We are going to air the Randolph-Macon game on Saturday, and that means we get more of you on Saturday.
So sorry about that. That's kind of the bad byproduct of, No, really looking forward to the opportunity to showcase this team and give them a chance to be heard live on Richmond Radio. They're going back to where kind of this run began for the program. They went to John Carroll back in 2018, got their first playoff win in 49 years there, and they haven't looked back. It's been an incredible run between then and now, including the 4 consecutive conference championships here in the last 4 seasons. A little bit surprised about the draw and where they ended up. They get the winner of Muhlenberg and Mount Union if they can defeat John Carroll, which they did 27 years ago, but obviously that has nothing to do with what's going to happen on Saturday. John Carroll's quarterback set a collegiate record at every level for completion percentage. He completed exactly 80% of his passes this year.
Wow.
Yeah, 80. It's insane. So in terms of offense, the Blue Streaks are very efficient. They average 33 yards given up on the run defensively. So huge challenge for the Yellow Jackets. But interviewed coach for the pregame show, which you'll hear here on Saturday at 11:30. He's confident. He's excited. And he believes that they can make this happen and get the win. They've won, 1, 2, 3 in a row in opening round play going back to 2022. And they're trying to get their 10th win for the 4th consecutive year as well. So, yeah, looking forward to it. 11:30, we'll talk with Coach Aruza, talk with quarterback Dante Casciola, and my good buddy Marty Wilson, the voice of the Yellow Jackets, will join us, and we'll kick it off at noon from Don Shula Stadium, just outside Cleveland.
I don't think I've completed 80% of my passes on Madden.
I was going to say, that's ridiculously.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's insane.
I mean, are most of these passes like the extended runs, or these are like legit?
Legit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's got a couple of downfield threats that are just insane. One transfer in from Nicholls State. The quarterback transferred in from Bucknell.
Okay.
But, Dante Casiola transferred to Randolph-Macon from Dayton. He was originally recruited by Macon, and he decided to go to Dayton, and then he spent the last 2 years in Ashland.
Because I was going to remember a few years ago when Reese Udinsky transferred from VMI to Richmond, his completion percentage was near, I think, 73 and a half. A lot of those were, extended runs, little screen passes at the line of scrimmage. He would stretch the field at times, but I was wondering, 80%, you thinking, we're going horizontal, but you're saying they're going vertical.
Yeah, they have no problem going vertical.
Wow.
And weather will be very interesting. There is lake effect snow warnings in effect up in Cleveland for tomorrow and most of Friday. We should be able to get through the game Saturday with maybe a snow shower or two, but I expect a nice wintry blanket when we arrive in Cleveland tomorrow afternoon.
Wow. You would hope, the Randolph-Macon offensive line talks to Pedro and say, put it on us, put it on our shoulders. We got an all-conference running back, second-team all-conference running back behind us. Let's lay on these guys and take away that threat of that could also play a part. The weather could limit that quarterback's ability to stretch the field. But you got them 5 offensive linemen that will lay on that line of John, what is it?
John
Carroll. I was going to say another name, but John Carroll.
Yep.
They can lay on that offensive line. Macon's got a good chance. The weather and that running game will be important for Macon, I think, on Saturday.
Yeah, and defensively, the back 7. First, the front 4's got to get some pressure. They got to rattle them, even if it's just a little bit, to give the guys in the back 7 time. They have done a tremendous job defensively this year. I cannot overstate the work of the linebackers and the secondary, because the line was a work in progress for the first several weeks of the season. It was deep into October before we started seeing the rotation that we're used to seeing, 8, 9 guys playing regularly. So you've got rushers that are in there that are fresh and ready to go. And it's denoted in several of the all-conference selections that were announced yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good one. It really is. We're looking forward to it.
So 11:30 the pregame and noon the start time here on 106.1 ESPN. We're looking forward to that. And let's be honest, it's going to be Mount Union. I mean, I don't think Matt Muhlenberg's going to beat them.
Muhlenberg is not what Muhlenberg was 7 years ago when we made the trip there for the second round. I suspect Mount Union will get the victory, so that would mean 2 weekend trips to Ohio back-to-back should the Yellow Jackets get the win in University Heights. Your prize is to go to Alliance, Ohio the following week, but at least that's about an hour closer. So.
I was going to say, if they didn't have classes and they win that game, you might as well just stay there for the week.
If you could.
Week in Ohio.
Ooh.
Go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
There you go. You go to right the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Absolutely.
Could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do all sorts of fun
But they got to
stuff.
go get those studies done after Thanksgiving and then go back.
Finals are coming.
On the bus.
All right, so we got a lot to get into here with all the games that are coming up this weekend. We'll also update you on the VCU score. The Rams are in action right now in the battle for Atlantis. They're down 12-8. There's going to be a lot of points scored in this game, so I think there'll be lead changes aplenty. But, Sean, let's start with you. What surprised you the most this past weekend?
Man, I guess what surprised me was the dominant performance that Verina had against Dinwiddie. A lot of people probably are saying, wait a minute, Dinwiddie has always been good defensively. I don't think a lot of people realistically, if you put a gun to their head to say, hey, Verina, you think Verina will shut out Dinwiddie at Dinwiddie in a regional semifinal? I don't think a lot of people would have said yeah. But the way that they did it, that front 7 is as good as anybody in the state. Bull, Richardson, Baskerville, Hood, the back 4, they confused Zion. They got to Zion. They stuffed the run. They made them one-dimensional. And, of course, Caleb and Damari, it's almost like a carbon copy of last year. Damari was solid all year. In that one breakthrough game against Verina in the regional final, you saw the recruiting pick up a little bit. He eventually goes to UVA. 2 touchdown catches, had a 2-point conversion. Caleb accounted for 4 touchdowns in that game. Probably as dominant a playoff performance I've seen in this area in a long time from start to finish for Verina.
Rob, what about you?
I was at Armstrong Friday night, Cool Lane, for their battle with TJ, which was a good game, but I don't think Armstrong put on their best effort. They were, again, a little slow to start offensively, even though they did score in the first quarter. That was thanks to a turnover and quite a short field. They're going to need Shadarius Pickett and the rushing attack to pick up the pace and do a better job than they have the last couple of weeks. I think he's had 67 yards combined in the Mechanicsville game. I'm sorry, the Nottoway game and the TJ game last week. And Pocosin is coming in, and a lot of people here in the area are not taking Pocosin seriously enough. Their lone loss was to Class 4 War Hill by 7, 35-28 midseason. And they have just rattled off 40-point-plus performances here in each of the last 4 or 5 weeks. So Coach Pruitt and company, they need to be ready to rock and roll by, from the opening kickoff coming up Friday night. So that was a little surprising, but I think they can overcome that. And then, what else can you say about the Miracle in Chester?
Yeah. Looking back at we spoke with Kevin Tucker Monday about that, and we were just, you looking back at the play, and you feel bad for Landon.
Oh yeah.
Abernathy, the Manchester quarterback, his last pass as a high school player, it's a pick six.
Brutal.
To end your season, and you look back about it and does he eat it? Just go ahead and eat it. Live the fight to overtime. You want to make a play, I know you do, but it was like you feeling pressure. Just take the sack, go into overtime. Hindsight is 20/20, but Vicente, what he did, getting the interception at the 1 and just making plays against Manchester's offensive line to run downfield and have a walk-off pick six to end the game. He shouldn't have to pay anything in Chester for at least a year.
No, he should own Chester until he graduates.
And then their reward is you got to go to Oscar Smith to play in a regional final. They played in 2021. The last time they played him was in the spring of 2021, and they lost in that regional final. You just wonder how much one play can carry you through a postseason. Can that one play get them over the hump? If they shorten the game, it's going to be some questions on who's going to run the ball, but if they can shorten the game and run the ball, rely on that offensive line, hopefully Wyatt doesn't make too many mistakes against that Oscar Smith defense, keep that offense off the field, and make some plays with that dark zone defense, can that one play carry them through the states? That's going to be the question. If it's high scoring, Oscar Smith is going to win.
Well, how about the fact there were no flags? Because usually on plays like that, there's blocks in the back, there's illegal blocks, and the fact that there was none of those to get the victory was amazing.
I was working on and got my column in this week for the Richmonder yesterday afternoon, and I went back and I looked at the play several different times because I'm like, that doesn't happen in a bubble. It's not all the person who gets the football. And I found Dexter Richardson. If you look at the video, right as Vinny was making his pivot midfield at the 24-yard line, and he decided, I'm going to go left instead of right. Well, you see Richardson over to his left with his hands up, arms up in the air, waving like, this way, man, this way. Mm-hmm. And then he knew, I don't want to, block anybody and we get a flag. And so he literally just got in the way of 2 different Manchester linemen. And then there was a teammate whose number, unfortunately, I could not see on the video, but he got in the way of one more, and then that was it. But what Richardson does in helping pivot that play into the area of the field where there was a seam and a possibility, because if he'd kept going right, he probably would have been stopped. Dexter Richardson, to me, is just as vital in that play as Vinny was. And it begs the question, Sean, and this has been gnawing at me all week ever since this happened. Matt, let's get you on this too. So you're tied, and you throw the Hail Mary. Now, I know defenders are taught to knock it down because you don't want to carry them and somebody catch it and a miracle win. But if you're down, Hail Mary, but you're tied. How much do you regret doing that now?
Coach Harold is probably kicking himself, but he's probably saying, hey, we got one shot. What do we have to lose? Right. He's not thinking what could possibly happen. A kid goes almost 100 yards on a pick six. He's probably thinking, I'm going to trust my quarterback. Yeah. That's going to, hey, if he's going to try for the Hail Mary, we got some receivers. Let's give it a shot. Worst case scenario, we go overtime and we play, we play to our strength. Yeah. Nobody probably in a million years thinks that's going to happen. And back to Dexter, a great story. He comes back from having open heart surgery last year, does not play at all in any sport. He's basically a 3-sport athlete, runs track, plays basketball and football, comes back this year, had a touchdown against my alma mater, Petersburg, and his mom is a graduate of Petersburg too, so how ironic. And makes a, that play that doesn't show up in the box score. Like you said, he's telling this guy, he's coaching this guy, go this way. And while he wasn't playing, he was coaching the secondary for Coach Tucker during the season. So that's a great comeback story for him, given everything that he went through to get back on the field, and now him and the Knights playing in a regional final. That was I didn't notice that till you said that, but that's cool that he was a part of Vicente making that play, probably using his coaching hat from last year to help him out.
It's like that the kick return in the Auburn-Alabama game.
Yep. Oh, yeah,
Because you think,
2013.
okay, he's just going to kick a field goal and nothing's going to happen. And I think that's the first time that ever happened where the guy returned it for a touchdown. Now it makes you think. It's like such an improbable play. You're only thinking of the positives. You're never thinking of, oh, my God, he could throw an interception and we could lose this game. That's probably what Coach was thinking.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And like I said, looking back at it, when he's feeling pressure, instead of just trying to make the play, eat it. There's no time on the clock. You're tied. Like you said, you're tied. You're not trailing. You're tied. You go into overtime. You take your chances of, we could get a touchdown and force them to score, because the momentum was clearly on Manchester's side. They were down 21-3. They came back to tie it at 21. You got probably Thomas Dale on the ropes at home, maybe feeling a little bit nervous in that situation. But again, just thinking like, there's no way, something like that's going to happen. And lo and behold, Vicente makes the play, and they're going on to play Oscar Smith in the regional finals on Friday.
So how good is this Oscar Smith team, Rob?
They're excellent. There's really no chinks in their armor. You're going to have to earn absolutely everything that you get from them. Their only loss was opening night to Gonzaga, the prep school up in D.C. that Benedictine beat mid-season.
Yep.
To give even more, kudos to the job the Benedictine did this year on the way to another state championship. But that nobody's slowed them down since then. They are the favorites probably in the state to win the state championship. So it would certainly be an upset of pretty big proportions if Thomas Dale could get the win. But if there's any program in this area that can thrive off emotion, I think Thomas Dale is the one. I mean, go back to their 2009 state championship and everything that surrounded the legendary coach Vic Williams at the time. And nobody expected them to make that run either. And they made it all the way, and they won it all. 2025 could be very, very similar, but it's going to be a tall task. But if they can get past Oscar Smith, they've got a legitimate chance at the state championship.
Yeah, I think if you can hold them to about 28, and I think that's what Coach Tucker was saying. That's the goal. If we can hold Oscar Smith to 28, he feels they've got a legit chance in that game. Anything over than that, it's going to be a tall task for Thomas Dale. But again, can that one play carry that momentum into the regional final?
I mean, why not? Why not? We've seen it before. We've seen plays galvanize teams. But yeah, it sounds like a tall task because it feels like Oscar Smith is always there. Like they rarely have a down year.
Yeah.
Oscar Smith, Phoebus. Everybody had pronounced them dead. They're alive and well in Class 4. Hampton always in the mix. There's always 757 power. Maury. Just like we have here in the 804.
Yeah.
You're always talking about Verina and Highland Springs and Dinwiddie, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And Huguenot, who has opened some eyes big time for their performance, going to Louisa, shutting down, not even slowing down Hyder. Legitimately shut down Hyder to 70 yards on 30-plus carries.
70 yards.
In his home stadium, his last game, and you only hold them to 11 points.
Yep.
He does not score a touchdown in his final game. Tell you what, if Huguenot's coming in with a lot of confidence going home, going to Richard McPhee Field against Verina, it's gonna be a great challenge, a great chess match of which strength will step a step forward. Will it be Huguenot's strength of their offense and their weapons, or will Verina's front seven again and that 11 on defense could that carry them back to another state championship?
It's going to be pretty crazy. We'll talk about that matchup and a couple of the other ones that are coming up this weekend. Let's take a time out. Sean and Rob are here. I have won the rights to them for this week. They will go back to Bob next week. But for this, we'll take a time out. We'll do more after this. 106.1 ESPN.
It's a holiday cheer and gear classic weekend at the Henrico Sports and Event Center. Stop by to drop off new sports equipment Thursday afternoon on December 4th during our cheer and gear broadcast. And stay for Henrico Battle of the Badges basketball game as the Henrico Fire Department takes on the Henrico Police. Santa will be available for pictures and kids activities for the little ones starting at 5 and game time at 6 p.m. Parking and event is free. 1 All-Star Boulevard in Glen Allen. Details online at henricosca.com.
Lux Chevrolet has the 3 P's of the car business: product, price, and people. Chevy is a great value product. Luck has 100 years of pricing experience to make your new or used purchase affordable. And Luck has knowledgeable people to guide you through the process. Put them together, and Lux Chevrolet is the answer to your dealership question. Give them a call at 804-798-9261. Visit them on Route 1 in Ashland or go online at luxchevrolet.com. Buy your next truck from Luck. Luck Chevrolet in Ashland.
Illuminate Light Show, Virginia's largest, longest running, and most affordable drive-through light and music show, is back and bigger than ever. We're talking 3 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all perfectly synchronized to some of your favorite Christmas tunes. Cap off the evening inside Santa's Village for food, fun, and shopping, and of course, pictures with Santa himself. Illuminate Light Show, 5:30 p.m. nightly at the Meadow Event Park in Doswell. More info at illuminatelightshow.com. Family owned and operated for over 12 years.
Guys, don't propose with a ring that she didn't pick out. Trust us, she already has a ring in mind. So engage with Gage Diamonds, in person or online, where Gage's skilled ring designers will work with her to create the perfect setting, matched with the perfect stone. Gage specializes in exquisite lab-grown diamonds. Financing available. GageDiamonds.com. We're engagement's middle name.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21. Commander Sundays start at Northwest Stadium, and Raisin Hill is there. Fan energy, game buzz, and Richmond's voice on Washington football. Raisin Hill, Thursdays at 6, only on your home for the NFL all season long. 106.1 ESPN Richmond, presented by Papa John's.
Turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat the turkey in my big brown shoe. Love
All right,
to eat
Jordan.
the turkey.
I was like, where are you going with this? But I got you now. Thank you, Jordan. As we get set for Thanksgiving here, Rams are tied with South Florida 17-all in the quarterfinal. About 9 minutes left. There's a lot of basketball left. Both these teams are going to score a lot of points. Sean Robertson here and Rob Witham here as we talk about this weekend. So let's go to that game that you were just talking about. With regards to Varina and Huguenot. Obviously both upsets by seeding, but feels like these are two of the best teams in the area.
No question about it. I mean, Varina, people on Route 5 believe they were the best team in Region 4B, regardless of them being seeded 4. We had talked to Marcus Lewis earlier in the season, and he stated it after that game. We don't care home or away. We're going to go and play. We're going to bring our best foot forward, and, going there, it's been a long time since a Bill Emil's team had got shut out. It was 2018 in the regular season, and I think you got to go back nearly 2 decades in the postseason. So they got full of confidence. Huguenot's got a bunch of confidence after their performance against Louisa. The problem is the last 2 years, Huguenot's season has ended by Varina in the regional semifinal. Last year was 21-0. The year before that, it was a close game, but they lost. It'll be interesting to see, like I said, the matchup, Huguenot's offense against Varina's defense. And on the flip side, how well Huguenot's defense has played all year, going back to week 1 when they gave up only 2 offensive touchdowns in that game. I think since then it's been like 4 offensive touchdowns in the last 10 weeks. for Huguenot that they have allowed. Only one against Louisa last week. I mean, we talked about Verona Dinwiddie. Couldn't wait. Everybody is talking about this matchup Saturday at Richard McPhee Field with Verona and Huguenot.
No doubt about it. So what's going to happen? Are we going to have first score wins because the defenses are so good, or the defenses are so good, but the offenses are going to find a way to get the football down the field, and we end up in a track meet?
Yeah, I mean, you got two great quarterbacks in that region. What Scott has done in his first year as a starting quarterback, and then what Caleb has done. This is the last 2 years. I mean, first year as a starter, he's led them to a state final in the loss to Phoebus. And I still believe, had he not gotten injured in that final against Phoebus, that's a totally different game. They were only down 9-6 starting the fourth quarter.
That's right.
Game got out of hand once Weish left, but that's to me a totally different game if Weish is healthy against Phoebus. The defense is, again, tremendous on both sides. It could come down to special teams.
Very well.
You know, we don't talk a lot about that. If they play so well, how much does a punt return, setting up a short field, a block punt, which we saw Verona have done in their run last year. Block punts throughout that run helped them go to the state final. You know, a late field goal.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be interesting. It's going to, but we talk about this, and we could have a 45-41 shootout with these two quarterbacks. But it's going to be fun, and it'll be interesting to see again the chess match on both sides when Huguenot's on defense against Verona's good offense or great offense, and the same thing when you got those weapons with Huguenot against the weapons on the defensive side with Verona.
The good thing is also weather won't be a factor. It's just going to be colder. It looks like it's going to be about 40s temperature-wise, so we won't have like the weather being an advantage for either side.
Sunny conditions for the most part. I think Scott's going to just try to spin it as best he can. I think he can spin it through the wind if wind is going to play a factor. So it's going to be fun to watch Coach Scott Sr. and also Coach Lewis and that group. Like I said, with the chess pieces that will be moved in that game on Saturday.
And whoever does come out on top, what a great iron sharpens iron day for the team that advances to the state semifinally. Only going to make them better. Only going to make them more dangerous in the final 2 weeks.
We haven't talked too much about Class 5 Region C. We got the Highland Springs Hermitage game. Hermitage with the upset win over the 1 seed, but this should be another good one because Highland Springs looks really good right now.
Tomorrow, is Thanksgiving. The day after, when they play Friday. 2:30, Black Friday, over at Kreider 2.0, as I like to call it. It will be exactly 10 years to the day that those two teams played in back then what was called a 5A state quarterfinal, where Highland Springs built up a huge second-half lead. They were just blowing them out, and then Hermitage comes fighting back. Eli Odom, their quarterback that year.
Yes.
They tied the game, and then Highland Springs scores a touchdown, I think, with about 11 seconds left to win 42-35. One of the best high school games I've ever seen. And so 10 years later, we re-rack it, and off we go. Back then, the only loss Highland Springs had in that state championship season, their first on-field state championship here, was opening day against Hermitage. This year, the two teams played later in the regular season, back-and-forth battle. Springers win by 3. Springers look like whatever the issues were late in the season into the first half of Glen Allen, the opening round, those problems are solved. They looked like Highland Springs both in the second half against the Jags, and last week they dusted the Colonels of William Fleming. So Hermitage needs to be careful, but what a performance by them to fight back and get the victory on the road in Roanoke against the top seed in Patrick Henry.
I believe the X factor is going to be Clark. I think it's going to be Andre Clark. How much will Coach Jean-Pierre use him offensively in that game? They've got to figure out a way to get him some touches, multiple touches. They did that against Patrick Henry Roanoke, I believe, on offense and also on special teams as well. Everybody's going to try to focus on Curtis, and rightfully so, because he ran for over 200 yards in the first meeting against Highland Springs. Can Clark give him just an extra guy out of the box to allow him to find some space? I think Clark could be a huge X factor for Hermitage if they win in Highland Springs and a chance to go to the state semis.
And they win that. You think about it, Clark had the big defensive play in the opening round against Midlothian to break that game open. I mean, we're talking about a player that can affect on all three phases.
Yeah.
That is very dangerous. So, yes, Coach Jean-Pierre definitely needs to draw up as many touches as possible for him.
End arounds, like I said, special teams, jet sweeps, pitch passes, bubble screens. He's got to help out Curtis to get him some opportunities in that against that front seven.
All right, Sean, we'll go to your team, Petersburg.
Hey.
Traveling to Lake Taylor, the 1 versus the 2. Does Jerome Mathis have enough in him for his team?
I think he does. I'm not saying that to be a homer. I think he does. I think the switch at quarterback, I'm going with Peebles as opposed to Stanley Green, who got nicked up a couple of times during the end of the regular season. It has provided a jolt. Beating Hopewell for the second time, this time in the postseason, I think that is huge for the Crimson Wave. And I've said this. I said I think they're playing with house money because everybody is thinking that Lake Taylor, you go into Lake Taylor, they're the number 1 seed. Petersburg's got no shot. They can play loose. They can play free. They can throw everything at Lake Taylor down in Norfolk because they're going to play with house money. And I think maybe they make a play or two late, and I see them in the state semifinal. Now, they probably, if this, am I wrong? Burn the tape, Jordan. But if they win, I want to hear that throughout the week.
Okay.
Next week.
That's right.
All right.
Put it in a promo.
Put it in a promo. Sean heard it here first. Petersburg's going to upset Lake Taylor.
And for those who haven't followed 757 football this year, Lake Taylor's good. Don't get me wrong, but they are beatable. But I will tell you this, Lake Taylor's home field is deceptively an advantage. I was there a decade ago when Hanover went and played in the state quarterfinal, and you get there, it's very nondescript. It's just a normal little stadium. It doesn't look like anything special, but then there's this aura that comes around when you get into the third and fourth quarters, and it's like the Titans just know that they're born to win. So you're going to have to overcome that. And I think you took the words right out of my mouth. House money. What has Petersburg got to lose? I mean, an incredible season, win or lose, coming up in this final game. They can throw the kitchen sink at Lake Taylor, and I suspect they will.
Yeah, it's like you're driving into like the old Field of Dreams. You got that long alley leading into the stadium. It's like, where is the stadium?
Like, are we ever going to get there?
I've been there twice. I went there when they played Bird. That was, I want to say, during their second state title run when they had the long winning streak. And when Monacan went to Lake Taylor in the Region 4B, I want to say that was the state semifinal when the ball never crossed the line of scrimmage on a blocked extra block field goal that would have won the game for Monacan had they recovered it. Lake Taylor scooped us up. They scored the touchdown and they win the game.
Yeah.
Because the ball didn't move an inch across the line of scrimmage.
And Monacan thought they'd won the game simply by blocking the kick. They were all celebrating.
And we thought so too. Then all of a sudden, like and me and the gentleman who was at NBC 12, I can say this. He was at NBC 12. Actually, it was Matt. It was Matt Estridge. We were both down there. We both turned to Monacan sideline because we thought they won the game. They were celebrating, and in the corner of my eye, I see the young man from Lake Taylor in the end zone, and I pivot and turn, and I see the official showing touchdown, and then they explained it and said when the block kick occurred, the ball basically laid still on the line of scrimmage and didn't move. So it was a live ball. Lake Taylor picked it up. They run down the sideline, and they scored the game-winning touchdown. And Jim Henderson was like, what could he do? He was like, he wasn't really mad. He was like, and that was a Sayur Flood team with Bridie and those guys. It was a horrible ending to a great season for Monacan, and just that ball not moving like I said, an inch, they win that game. Yep. They just stayed right on the line of scrimmage, and Lake Taylor won it.
So you're just saying the air at Lake Taylor's different. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you get in there.
Everything's different there.
On Black Friday, it's going to be interesting, and hopefully those Crimson Wave alum make the trip down to Norfolk for that game. You know, a historic season, as Rob mentioned, most wins since the 79 state championship team. Haven't been this far since 2014 when they played Lafayette in the regional final down in Williamsburg. So, again, they got nothing to lose, everything to gain. Just throw everything at Lake Taylor and see what sticks.
That's right.
Let's go to Class 2. We've got Armstrong hosting Poquoson on Friday night. Thoughts on this matchup?
I think in this one, Armstrong they want to defend the home field. I think Handsome, the quarterback, he's got to make some plays for Armstrong. And I think defensively, just continue to do what they have been doing all season. Don't break it. If it's not broke, don't break it. Just keep doing what you're doing. Defend your home field. Pocosin they have to beat them. They are the number 1 seed. They've got to come to Cool Lane and knock you guys off. And I think if they continue to do what they've been doing with, big plays offensively and strong defensive play this year, I see Armstrong playing in the state semis. This is the hump that Coach Pruitt had talked about getting over. They have been close, but hadn't got over the hump. If they can do, if not now, if not this year, when will Armstrong do it? Right. They want to do it this year.
Handsome has accounted for 40 total touchdowns this season. He looked really poised in the pocket last week in the win over TJ. And you mentioned the defense. Donzel Jones-Teal, 10 tackles, 3 for loss. He forced the fumble early in the game that turned into 7 points. But then on top of that, you add to him Avery Holmes, Aladdin Sims, Isaiah Charity. There are so many talented studs on that defense that any of them can make the key play at any point. And that's what they did last week. Deron Ferguson, he got his yards, and he scored the late touchdown to allow TJ to have a chance at an onside kick. But other than that, excellent performance by the defense. And I think it's going to be the defense that will carry the day.
And one thing real quick, Matt, that we haven't really talked about with Handsome, the championship experience. He's a Verona transfer. He was on the team that made the championship final last year. Didn't play a lot behind, Caleb Weish. To me, that experience of going through that run last year, seeing what they went through, working, doing the practices each day, getting up to that state final against Phoenix, I think that has played a lot in the maturity and the calmness that he has had at this point. And I think that could also be a factor in his play Friday night for Armstrong.
Somebody transferred out of Verona? Really?
Yeah.
Listen, that's a program I would want to get into. I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, but if you see that your path of opportunity is blocked and you want your career to continue, or even if you just want to play as much high school football as you want to, it makes sense.
And it says a lot, and we said this before, it says a lot with the city schools. Ferguson, another one. Yep. Ferguson has transferred from Highland Springs. He was on the regional final team last year with Highland Springs, and he goes to TJ. It says a lot about what Pruitt and Coach Harris at TJ have done in rebuilding the culture where you got teams from championship pedigree that's saying, I want to leave there, and I'll play for Armstrong. I'll play for TJ. Yeah. I'll play at Huguenot. City schools, you mentioned this also. In the future, I think you'll see more of those players who would like to play at Verona or Highland Springs or even Dinwiddie or those schools like that, championship pedigree programs, saying if I can't play there, well, Armstrong's doing pretty good. They've gone to the regional final. TJ's gone to a couple of regional finals in the last 4 years. Huguenot's playing in a regional final. Why can't I play there and be as successful?
And they're sending guys to the next level.
Absolutely.
So where's the Chopper heading? What's the schedule for the Chopper this weekend?
All right, so the Chopper is going to Herm Highland Springs on Black Friday, and then we're going to take that Chopper down to Richard McPhee Field on Saturday to see Huguenot and Verona. And I think we may send a second Chopper.
Wow.
It's not confirmed yet, but I'm hearing whispers. We may go to the Region 1A final with the defending state champs, who currently has the longest winning streak of anyone in this area. Essex, I think, is now at 20 and counting. They host Rappahannock in a regional final, Class 1A regional final on Saturday at 1 o'clock. I think Lane or Rick, one of them will take the Chopper out to Essex to see if the Trojans can get back to the state semifinals and win another regional championship.
So you couldn't get to go down to go watch your team? You can go and maneuver the schedule a little bit to watch?
I mean, I've done the Lake Taylor trip a couple times. I mean, I wouldn't have mind, but you got Highland Springs and Herm in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been nice to probably make that trip. It would have been tough because that game probably ends around 5. Then you got to get on there.
Traffic.
Oh, yeah. 64, yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to hit that Williamsburg traffic first and then go through the tunnel. or take 460, which is probably the best way to go to Lake Taylor is to take 460. So yeah, I'll hear the reports, and I'll keep a close eye on that game. Hopefully we'll get that W. I'm gonna say we because I'm an alum. We'll get the W against Lake Taylor.
You're more than welcome to say we. For high school and college, you can definitely say we. Nothing else.
Crimson Wave all the way in that one.
There you go. And I'll be following everything that you guys are doing from University Heights, Ohio.
That's right, because you're going. Is the chopper going?
No. It's the Marty Mobile.
Oh, the Marty Mobile.
It's Marty Mobile 2.0. We got a new one in the off season.
Look at that.
So yeah. So we head out 7:30 Friday morning. Get up. I think we're going that early because Marty's a huge Eagles fan and he wants to get to the hotel so he can watch the game on Amazon. I think.
Well, he may tell you to drive first.
That's true.
And have the phone on so he can watch. I think that's a 2:00 kick.
Something like that.
Yeah. On Black Friday on Prime.
Mm-hmm.
All of these streaming services with all of these games, it's
crazy.
Yeah, there's NBA games on Black Friday too on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
Also on Prime too. Really?
There's like two of them, I think.
Yeah, the Cup continuing.
Yeah, they got
some on Peacock, right?
Yeah.
Some NBA on Peacock
everywhere.
Monday nights.
Yeah,
everywhere.
It's ridiculous. You got to have a streaming service. You got to have a streaming service to pay attention to national sports these days, or if not, you're gonna be left behind.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
All right, let's take a phone call here. Let's go to Bruce. What's going on, Bruce?
Good afternoon, Matt, Rob, and Sean. Sean brings home a great point with transfer of players from the county to the city. And Sean, Rob, I'll double down on this point. A lot of these guys we coach in some of our city leagues. So Richmond has now combined, a lot of their sports programs where they weren't getting the large turnout. They've combined it. And so a lot of those guys are playing, and they're seeing these guys from the county when they go to the championships. Mm-hmm. And City of Richmond are winning some of these championships. So, hey, if the parents can't move to the county, well, I played against him while we were in the championship, and we beat them. So I'll stay right here at Armstrong, or I'll stay here at TJ, and that's what you're seeing.
And Bruce, to piggyback on that, it probably goes back to when they're 6 or 7 and 8 years old, and you're playing in those flag football teams, and then you're talking, like you're saying, and word of mouth, social media, and they're looking like, oh, yeah, I see them doing well, and then all of a sudden you're seeing Armstrong pick it up, you're seeing TJ pick it up, you're seeing Huguenot pick it up, and the guys talk, hey, look, we may have a couple guys leaving, how you doing over there at such and such school? Oh, you don't have enough playing time? Come on over. We're looking for a position at wide receiver or offensive lineman or quarterback. So Bruce, I think, hits the nail on the head.
And if we could go back to 2015 and our 2015 selves could hear this conversation, we wouldn't believe it.
Nope.
Because then it was the exodus. You don't want to play for Armstrong or TJ because they've lost egad numbers of games in a row.
Oh, you
want to get out in the county and you want to find a place where you can play and be seen, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody would have dreamed that it would have turned on its head to the point where it is now. But I love it. I think it's a great thing for high school football in general when Richmond Public Schools are strong.
And they were going to Highland Springs because they had a monopoly on all three. They had the school that's across the street from Verona. Is that Rolfe?
John Rolfe.
They had John Rolfe. They had Glenn Lee. And they had a third school that was basically a feeder program for those, for Highland Springs, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. You had those coaches coaching them young. Come on to Highland Springs. That monopoly is not there as much now. That's where Verona started to pick it up a little bit more, and those city schools are doing the same thing.
And Glenn Lee was that program that Sean references. But Rob, it really started with how well TJ started playing 5-6 years ago.
With Chad.
Yes.
With Hornick. Yep.
Yeah. And
that's where,
kudos to Chad Hornick, indeed, because he's the one who stepped up, saw the promise at that school, knew what could happen if somebody invested a little bit of time in it and invested in those kids. And, he didn't get a lot of victories on the field as coach, but when he left it in such good shape that it just, especially after the pandemic, just skyrocketed.
And PJ Adams did a really good job following him. And then Coach Harrison, Joseph Harrison, really good job there. And then now with Eric has taken that now to another level.
And when TJ did it, it proved it could be done.
Absolutely.
And then you see Jeremy Pruitt step in and basically build Armstrong from scratch. And now you see Scott over at Huguenot and what they've done in the last few years. Our HSA is going to get a new campus here in a year or so. So
watch out for them. And we're not joking about that. When that school is built and the numbers go up, I think you'll see a more productive and competitive Richmond High School for the arts with the Bulldogs. And if Hutchinson can stay and continue to build the numbers up, watch.
And if they can be allowed not to have to play a full Dominion District schedule.
Absolutely.
The Dominion, I'll say it publicly, the Dominion District needs to join the rest of Virginia. And I don't know if it's mandatory in their district. You got to play all 9 of those teams. We're going to have a new school in 2027 in Chesterfield County.
Where's Cosby?
Yeah. Where are they going to go? And then that would be 10 Dominion District games. Another reason why TJ Armstrong, et cetera, have done so well is that they don't have to schedule teams that they knew they couldn't beat because they were simply district opponents. They've cherry-picked some, and they still continue to play them, but to be able to play teams that are more in size and enrollment who you are just gives you a better chance from a competitive standpoint.
And it starts from like day one when you're going into camp and you know you got a realistic chance to do well or go far in the postseason. And I mean, you feel bad for Marshall, you feel bad for the Bulldogs because it's almost as like you're like at the edge of the cliff and they're ready to push you over because like you really don't have that legit opportunity to succeed because Richmond High School is going to play the Manchesters, the Birds, the Monicans, the Huguenot. I mean, you'll play the Huguenot, but Huguenot's enrollment is substantially greater than the Bulldogs. So it's a really tough spot for Hutchinson to be in at Richmond. But hopefully the new school will help them out.
Thank you, Bruce, and I hope you have a good holiday.
Hey, thanks, guys, and y'all enjoy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right, fellas, it was a good time today. A feel-good Thursday on a Wednesday during Border to Border. Thank you, as always, for giving us some time here in studio, and I'll return you back to Bob next Thursday. Unless he doesn't bring you chocolate, then you're more than welcome to come on the show again.
He needs to bring the chocolate, and hopefully he's listening to this when he can mention that during the broadcast. I'm bringing chocolate for the guys.
Yes.
That should be number one.
Number 1, 2, 3, right here. 1, 2, 3 in studio.
And happy Thanksgiving to you, Matt.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
And good luck to Petersburg this weekend.
Thank you much.
Go Wave.
Go Wave. Go Mathis and the crew. Absolutely.
All right, we'll take a break. 106.1 ESPN.
From our family at Clearwater Pools and Spas to yours, we wish you a heartfelt Thanksgiving and a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for 36 years of being the best customers in the world. Visit shopclearwaterpools.com and happy holidays from Clearwater Pools and Spas.
Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, plus the leading technology from Lennox. Now that's a perfect duo. For a limited time, we're offering up to $1,500 in rebates or qualified buyers make no payments, incur no interest for 60 months when financing a new Lennox system. Plus, receive up to $2,600 in federal tax credits. Call Herman W. Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 804-746-5853 or visit us online at hermanallenplumbing.com to learn more.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 235.
Have other law firms turned your case down? Maybe they didn't think you had a case. Maybe they just didn't want to spend the money to investigate. Truth is, some firms don't have the resources to fund a big fight. Alexander Chinara Trial Attorneys. We won't back down. We investigate. We fund. It won't cost you a dime until we win. 877-222-6666 or go to Chinara.com. Alexander Chinara Trial Attorneys. We don't settle. We win.
This is advertising material.
Hi, this is Jeff Henderson with Hometown Realty and RCI Builders. If you're looking for land and want a new house, please give me a call. RCI Builders will build one of their great houses on your lot, or we can help you find a lot. Our goal is to help you get the house you want on the lot you want. Doesn't that sound great? My cell is 804-432-7436. So give me a call and let's get started today. 804-432-7436.
Nothing Bun Cakes is all about bringing joy. We're your one-stop shop for all occasions and holiday celebrations. Stop by any one of our 5 Nothing Bun Cakes bakeries in the Richmond area or visit online at nothingbuncakes.com.
The lights, the rivalries, the NFL in prime time. From Thursday to Sunday to Monday nights, every big matchup is here. Only on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks NFL all season long.
I didn't even know that there were any Thanksgiving songs out there. You have found 2 of them so far. We have a bunch more breaks. I don't know how many more we can have, but fantastic job, Jordan. 327-0888, phone number, text line 804 is the area code here on the show. And thanks to the guys for joining me. They will usually, they're usually on with Bob, Feel Good Thursday on a Wednesday here on Border to Border. All right, so we are approaching halftime. We're actually in halftime in Atlantis. VCU is up 36-33 over South Florida. They got a dunk by Barry Evans at the buzzer and are up 3 on South Florida. It's been, I've been watching and listening to the guys. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing half, but look, VCU has made 5 of their last 7 shots. They've held USF without a field goal for the last 5 minutes. The defense has clamped down. The Rams were a slight favorite in this game, about 2.5. So we'll keep you posted there at halftime in that one. Some other scores of note: Liberty's losing to Bradley 51-42 with 13 minutes left to go in that one as the third game of the Terry's Chocolate ESPN Invitational. So that is going on. We also have the HBCU in D.C. tip-off. Virginia State is actually up on Delaware State 42-30. That game is at halftime. So that would be a tremendous win for Virginia State if they could beat the Division I opponent. That is taking place up in Washington, D.C. Elsewhere with some of the other state schools, Virginia Tech is playing Colorado State this afternoon at 5 o'clock. That'll be on ESPNU. They'll follow the game that is on TV right now. Virginia Tech's 5-0. Colorado State is 4-1. And I'm looking to see who else is playing tonight with regards to our state schools. Nobody else is playing tonight. By the way, already today, VMI lost 81-48 to Bowling Green for all of the Division I. Virginia Union is playing today at 7:30. So they are in action. District of Columbia. Man, I wrote D of C on my calendar because the blocks are so small. So I'm assuming it's District of Columbia. If it's something else, I apologize. But Virginia Union is in action tonight as we get ready for the holiday. VCU, Richmond, and Tech are all playing tomorrow. Let's see if the lines are out for tomorrow. So we have a lot to get into. So hour number 2, we are doing the mashup hour, but we're doing the back half of it as the mash. It's so funny because Bob is like, oh, I'll probably do the mashup hour. And then I get a text say, he's like, can we do a half hour of the mashup hour? So he's going to come on at 4:30. So at 4:15, you're going to hear my conversation with Ethan Minter of UVA. I had a chance to catch up with him earlier today. They're on the practice field now. So we'll hear from the Thomas Dale product as he gets set for Virginia at Virginia Tech. So we'll do that at 4:15. And then at 5 o'clock, we're doing Talking Dukes with me. And we'll do that. And Pat McMurtry is the guest for the show. So you can certainly hear that coming up at 5 o'clock here on 106.1 ESPN. Alan wanted me to make sure to tell everybody that Jack has been doing a lot of interviews on YouTube and his Instagram, and he talked to a bunch of players from Thomas Dale, Hermitage, Verina, Highland Springs. So go to his Instagram and his YouTube if you want to check that out. And they will be at Armstrong coming up on Friday. Jack and Alan, if you want to go out and see them. And don't forget, we are now almost a week away from Holiday Cheer and Gear. Jack will be out there from 12 to 1 at the Henrico Sports and Event Center, taking your donations from during lunchtime. Bob and I will be doing our show from 3 until 6. We are looking for new sporting goods for kids aged 10 to 15, basketballs, footballs, soccer balls, hockey sticks, all that fun stuff. And then you should stay for the Battle of the Badges between the Henrico Police Team and the Henrico Fire Department. So we will do a modified mashup hour coming up next hour, and we'll do Talking Dukes coming up at 5 o'clock. So stick around through the break as we finish up the week strong. You're listening to 106.1 ESPN.
Norman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is a proud sponsor of the Holiday Cheer and Gear Donation broadcast December 4th at the Henrico Sports and Events Center.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com. 100 years is a long time. That's how long Lux Chevrolet has been selling cars and trucks. Whether you need a new Chevy, a used vehicle, or service and parts for your GM vehicle, Lux Chevrolet has the resources, knowledge, and personnel to make your experience efficient and enjoyable. Give them a call at 804-798-9261. Visit them online at luxchevrolet.com or in person on Route 1 in Ashland. Buy your next truck from Lux Chevrolet in Ashland.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PIPE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PIPE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PIPE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here, wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. Mint is still premium, unlimited wireless for a great price. So, that means a half day, yeah?
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This is TV's Dr. Travis Stork for Eggland's Best. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure you're choosing wholesome ingredients like Eggland's Best eggs to plus up your nutrition. With more than 6 times the vitamin D and double the omega-3s and vitamin B12 compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best supports a healthy lifestyle. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Visit egglandsbest.com to learn more.
Holiday cheer and gear is back. Help make this holiday a special one by donating new sporting gear Thursday, December 4th at the new Henrico Sports and Events Center in Glen Allen.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Packers will welcome back running back Josh Jacobs from bruised knee for tomorrow's critical NFC North showdown in Detroit. Receiver Matthew Golden is questionable. Chiefs right guard Trey Smith, tight end Noah Gray, cornerback Chris Rowland-Smith out tomorrow against the Cowboys. Eagles running back Saquon Barkley on the injury report ahead of Friday's game against the Bears with a groin injury. It's been a rough second season in Philly for Barkley. 684 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, and he's only topped 100 yards once this season. Unsportsmanlike co-host Chris Canty.
And until the Eagles can get right with being able to run the football, that offense is going to continue to be uneven. They are a run-first team. When you start talking about the identity of the Philadelphia Eagles, that's who they are. They major in running the football. But your running game is going to be inconsistent if you continue to do the same things and not necessarily get the productivity that you had in the past.
Broncos agreed to extensions with center Luke Wattenberg, 4 years, $48 million, and defensive tackle Malcolm Roach, 3 years, $29 million.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you why what we see on Turkey Day will impact the playoff picture. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Check this out, y'all.
Audio level full volume. It's go time.
Live from the capital of the Commonwealth. This is the Mashup Hour of Border to Border and the Sports Huddle with Matt Josephs and Bob Black.
Welcome in, 106.1 ESPN. Matt Josephs here. 106.1 ESPN. It is the Mashup Hour. We will have Bob at some point. We're trying to hammer out when Bob is going to come on because he's down in Florida getting a tan and eating chocolate, which I think is fantastic. It's what he should do. But we're trying to figure it out. So at some point, Bob is going to come on for about a half hour. We're going to do our top five. We had a texter. I don't know if Bob's listening. We had a texter who asked if we're doing the top five today. So we got to do the top five, even though it's probably going to be another agreement of sorts. But you are listening to the Mashup Hour. I'm sorry, I'm a little thrown off here because Twitter is going wild here. Earlier today, I guess Alex Golish, the head coach of USF, was reportedly said. It was reported that he was saying that he accepted the job at Arkansas, and since then, the AD at USF has basically said nothing's official. We've been talking to Coach and staying in contact with him, but we have no idea what's going on. And I do find it funny. There are people on Twitter who are talking about coaching loyalties and stuff and being disappointed. I think we really need to educate people on when coaches say things, they don't really mean it. Like, let's be completely honest. I think that's what people were made mad about when it came to Coach Rhodes leaving VCU because, he's like, oh, I'm going to stay forever. This is my home. This is all this stuff. And then, of course, when you find, you either have to take it at face value and realize these coaches are lying and that they're always looking to move up, or these coaches should never say that. They should just say it's the next step in my progression, in my career. You either admire the honesty that coaches give or you get mad because they lie when you know it's a lie. So that's why I was thrown off for a second as we came on because there was a lot of people have been retweeting that that he's a liar and he's a terrible person and and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like we really need to kind of settle down a bit. So there is good college basketball on right now. There's been good college basketball on all week. VCU's in action down in Atlantis for the Battle for Atlantis first round action. They are up 36-33 on South Florida. Defenses clamped down towards the end. No field goals in the last 5 minutes and 5 seconds here. VCU's led by, I'm trying to look here. So they're not the home team. They are home team. Terrence Hill has 11. Djokovic has 7. Barry Evans has 6. Ward, Noel, Jadrian Tracy, and Nick Lewis all have 3. No score for Brandon Jennings, Michael Bell, and Keyshawn Mitchell. So all those guys have played for VCU, who's still trying to figure out the rotation. 10 guys have played so far. Now, granted, a bunch of different minutes. All of them at least 6 minutes. So I think Coach Martelli is still trying to figure it out. And plus, you're playing 3 games in 3 days, so you're going to need to play a lot of players. So we'll keep you posted. They are still at halftime, 36-33 VCU. We said earlier in the day, VMI lost to Bowling Green, 81-48 in the Fort Myers tip-off as part of the Palms division. A couple of games going on right now. Things not going as well for Virginia State. They are playing in the HBCU in D.C. tip-off. They're playing against Delaware State of the Division I level. They were up 42-30 at halftime. They're now up 48-46 with 12 minutes left to go in that contest. Liberty is down 10 to Bradley, 55-45. There's still about 9 minutes left to go in that one. And Virginia Tech is in action right afterwards out in the Bahamas against Colorado State. Virginia Tech is 5-0, and Colorado State is 4-1 on the season. So those are the state schools, and Virginia Union's in action tonight at 7:30 against what I think is, and I probably should have looked it up during the break, District of Columbia, because I wrote D of C on the grid that I have here, and the grid is very small. It is District of Columbia. But it is being played here, which I find interesting. They're having an HBCU event in D.C., and Virginia Union is playing the University of the District of Columbia, and yet the game is here instead of part of the other event. But good luck to Virginia Union, who's started out 3-1 so far on the season. So plenty of college basketball here. And, of course, tomorrow Richmond is playing at 11 a.m., which is tremendous because that means I'm out of here by 1:30. But they will start their couple of games tomorrow before noon, as well as VCU and Virginia Tech, who will also be playing tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Early line, Richmond -4.5. Totals 149 as they take on Furman. And usually Furman's pretty good. We can look a little bit at KenPom to see how good they are this season. There's actually a lot of college basketball tomorrow. There's actually a lot of college basketball on during Thanksgiving. Pretty crazy. A lot of it. Used to be like there was like 8 or 9 games. Tomorrow there is a lot going on. Duke's playing tomorrow, so naturally that makes tomorrow very, very important. 327-0888 phone number, text line 804 is the area code. Coming up at 4:15, you'll hear my conversation with Ethan Minter of UVA, the Thomas Dale grad. Get his thoughts on the matchup coming up against Virginia Tech and the season so far. We'll also get his thoughts on the miracle win by Thomas Dale last week. That miracle win allowed me to have the Feel Good Thursday crew on the Wednesday show on Border to Border. So if you missed it last hour, Sean and Rob were here, and we'll put that up on the website, ESPNRichmond.com. We did a lot of high school football talk from last week and then get you ready for the weekend ahead. Also, we're getting ready for the NFL tomorrow. A couple of games tomorrow. Lions, Packers, Cowboys and Chiefs, and then Ravens and Bengals. That's all coming up tomorrow. And then we have a Black Friday game, which could be terrible for me and Bob if the Eagles don't win. They are a 7-point favorite against the Bears. I'm just going to tell you this. The Eagles right now shouldn't be 7-point favorites against almost anybody, especially a 8-3 team like the Bears. I think that's a gift, which means Vegas is probably trapping me by saying that. But I really think that game's going to be closer than I want it to be coming up on Black Friday. I do want to get into, so we did a lot on the Players Era Tournament yesterday, and I do want to kind of get into that a little bit as well once again, because they... how do I put this? So I still defend the tournament, and I still think that it's pretty solid. There's a lot of hate for the Players Era Tournament from a lot of people. I think part of it is last night we had no idea who was playing. I read down the list as to how you get to decide who's playing who on Wednesday, and apparently they threw all of that out and just basically it feels like randomly put teams against each other. Case in point, Syracuse went 0-2. And they are playing Iowa State, who went 2-0. Iowa State destroyed them, and it was a really rough game, but not by the standards that they had set previously yesterday for how they were determining today. They kind of changed it and decided to go against it. And so I think people are rebelling against the fact that, A, there's no bracket, and B, it doesn't have the feel of a college basketball tournament. It has the feel of a AAU event. And I'm slowly coming around to it a little bit, but there's a lot of people who are like, the Houston-Tennessee game last night had nothing. Well, it lost all feel because neither team, but one of the teams went 3-0. I think Houston went 3-0, and yet they didn't play in the championship for the event. It was Gonzaga and Michigan who are playing in the championship of the event. Gonzaga looks tremendous, by the way. I'm so excited for my Zags because I think they're going to be really good this year. But they basically abandoned the format and then said, "All right, we're done, and we're gonna just throw things together." Which I get it; people are frustrated by that, but I'm still not saying that it's ruined Feast Week. I'm looking at a half-empty ballroom with VCU and USF playing. Like I'm looking at a half-empty ballroom. No one's saying, "Well, no one's at the battle for Atlantis." I think we are to the point where everybody just complains and criticizes everything just for the heck of it. I really do think that. We're at the point where everything is just criticism. Now, the interesting thing is there is a story that came out from Sportico, which is a website that does – you really don't know what Sportico is until a story comes out and you're like, oh, that's really interesting. Apparently – the story was that everybody was getting $1 million to play in the Players Era tournament. Well, apparently that's not the case. Apparently, there's going to be some schools who come out with much less than that, and they talked about the UNLV. $800,000 is going to NIL compensation to UNLV's collective. The remaining $200,000 comes in quote unquote event participation agreement, which is basically getting they had to pay money to buy tickets for the event, which then they can resell at any price. But if they don't sell it, then they lose money. So apparently this thing is not as on the up and up as we all thought it was. Apparently Rutgers was given a $50,000 stipend for travel and everything because they have to come from New Jersey. But $50,000 wasn't enough for them to charter a flight, so they are also losing some money coming out of this thing. So there's some things that are around this story. I don't really want to get into all of that. I just want to watch good basketball, and I feel like the Players Era tournament's giving me good basketball. Like, as long as we're not stealing from the kids and as long as we're not stealing from the schools, like, I don't really care. I just want good basketball, and I think we're getting that from the event. But if you want to, go read the article in Sportico, and it'll tell you about the, let's just say, the different things that are coming out about this tournament that may not necessarily be 100% what we heard about it in the past. So I find that rather interesting. I guess this is also pretty interesting. So in the offseason, Frank Ragnow, who is the Detroit Lions center, really good center, he retired at the age of 28 in the offseason. Apparently today he is unretiring and returning to the Lions. He is coming out of retirement to return to the Lions. So that is a huge thing for the Lions, who their offensive line has not been great so far this season. And he's one of the best centers in the NFL, and he's probably going to play next Thursday for the Lions. And if he doesn't play next Thursday, he'll play the week after against the Rams. So a team in the NFC who is already kind of improving a little bit gets a whole lot better. Injury report for the Commanders, looking it up now to see if it's come out yet for so far for this week. It has not come out yet. So we don't know yet. It does not look like Jaden Daniels is going to play. He has not been cleared for contact yet. You know where I stand on that. I think it's ridiculous to even consider bringing him back, but it doesn't really matter what I think. It's what the Commanders think. All the people in D.C. are believing 1,000% that they should bring him back. It looks like Terry McLaurin is on track to return at some point this season. We'll see. That could be another thing that they don't really need to. If the guy has injury issues, you really don't need to bring him back, potentially. You really don't. Like, to me, and I know it's a weird situation, you have nothing to play for. And the worse you do, the better it will be for your future. But nobody really understands that in D.C. They all just want to see the quarterback and hope and pray he doesn't get hurt, which I don't want him to get hurt. I've never rooted for injuries. I never will root for injuries. But he does not need to play. All right, let's take a timeout. Coming up, the game of the weekend here in the state, Virginia Tech. That game will be played in Charlottesville. Another night game for the Wahoos. We'll talk about that and a bunch of other stuff with our next guest, Ethan Minter, safety from Thomas Dale. He will join us at next. You're listening to 106.1 ESPN.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Bob Black and Matt Joseph's Cheer and Gear broadcast live Thursday, December 4th at the Henrico Sports and Events Center to benefit the Salvation Army Christmas Assistance Program.
Illuminate Light Show, Virginia's largest, longest-running, and most affordable drive-through light and music show, is back and bigger than ever. We're talking 3 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all perfectly synchronized to some of your favorite Christmas tunes. Cap off the evening inside Santa's Village for food, fun, and shopping, and of course, pictures with Santa himself. Illuminate Light Show, 5:30 p.m. nightly at the Meadow Event Park in Doswell. More info at illuminatelightshow.com. Family owned and operated for over 12 years.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
A birth injury turns the best day of your life into the worst. Hospitals deny. Insurance companies delay and off pennies. At Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, we don't let them get away with it. We stand with you. We fight for you, and we win for your family's future. Call 877-222-6666 or visit Shannara.com. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. We go deeper. We fight harder. We win big.
This is advertising material.
It's bow time. The Pork Chop Griller is back at Bojangles for a limited time. We know you missed it in all its tender, marinated glory, and how could you not? Because when you take a juicy, mouth-watering pork chop and sandwich it on a flaky, made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, it's not a flavor you want to say goodbye to. And don't worry, if it could talk, we're pretty sure it would say, I missed you too. Get to the nearest Bojangles and order yours today. It's bow time.
Nothing Bun Cakes is all about bringing joy. We're your one-stop shop for all occasions and holiday celebrations. Stop by any one of our 5 Nothing Bun Cakes bakeries in the Richmond area or visit online at nothingbbuncakes.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PIPE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PIPE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PIPE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
At American Red Cross, we depend on your end-of-year donations to provide relief during emergencies and care for families in need. Visit redcross.org to make a donation that will change a life.
Illuminate Light Show, Virginia's largest, longest-running, and most affordable drive-through light and music show, is back and bigger than ever. We're talking 3 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all perfectly synchronized to some of your favorite Christmas tunes. Cap off the evening inside Santa's Village for food, fun, and shopping, and of course, pictures with Santa himself. Illuminate Light Show, 5:30 p.m. nightly at the Meadow Event Park in Doswell. More info at illuminatelightshow.com. Family owned and operated for over 12 years.
From Northwest Stadium to tailgates, Tuesday Insiders and weekly deep dives, Raise and Hail is Richmond's Commanders Connection. Only on your home for the NFL all season long. 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
How I fill your plate and fill your drink. Put your dishes in the kitchen sink and let the leftover year just wash away.
Welcome back. 106.1 ESPN. Matt Joseph's here as we get set for another edition of Virginia and Virginia Tech coming up Saturday, 7 o'clock in Charlottesville. Joining us now, local product, Thomas Dale's own Ethan Minter. Ethan, how's it going?
Going good.
Ethan, before we get into all the college stuff, did you see the interception return for a touchdown by your alma mater last weekend?
I did. That was pretty crazy.
So how was the bye week? You know, we don't usually get bye weeks this late in the season. Was it a good time for you guys to have an extra week off?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a good time for everyone to recover and to us to get an extra week of preparation on Tech.
What are some of the things that you guys did when you looked at, you know, your past games? What are some of the things that you guys noticed when you looked at the video from the past couple of games? I
think that we noticed that we're getting better every game. We're communicating at a higher level every game. We're tackling better. So we're covering better. I think that we're really improving every game, so we're just really trying to continue that trajectory.
Last game was one of your best ones against Duke. Was there something in the matchup that allowed you to be so successful?
I think just in our preparation, the way that our coaches prepare us, the way that we prepare for our games, both physically and mentally, really help us to go out there and execute well.
What have you noticed about your secondary as the season's gone along?
We've got closer for sure, both on the field and off the field, which has helped us play better together, communicate better. And we're really a selfless group. We want the best for each other, no matter who's out there, which has really helped us also.
How have you taken the next step in your career? You know, last year you played a lot, but you didn't start. This year you've been a starter all season. Where do you feel like you've taken your biggest jump from last year?
I think I understand the game at a higher level. I think I'm also physically more mature, which I credit to the strength staff and the coaches for helping me, kind of start to understand the game a lot better.
What's it been like to play for Coach Rudd and have him as your defensive coordinator? There's a lot of changes in college football with coordinators and stuff. You've been lucky to have the same coordinator so far in your career. What's it been like to play for Coach Rudd?
Oh, it's awesome. Coach Rudd's amazing with the way he prepares the defense and the relationship that I have with him and that a lot of guys have with him off the field, along with on the field, with how he coaches us is really amazing.
How important is that off-the-field stuff? Because you obviously want to have a good relationship with him on the field. He calls the plays. He puts you guys in position and stuff like that. But how important is it to have a really good relationship with your coordinator off the field?
I think it's really important because, like, when you have a good relationship off the field, that allows you to understand where he's coming from when he's coaching you on the field. And that also allows you to just kind of be on the same wavelength when it comes to being on the field as well.
What's it been like energy-wise on campus? Have you noticed a difference from last year with regards to the students on campus, your teachers? Have you noticed something different with all the success you guys have had this season?
They're definitely a lot more supportive, which has been really fun to be around.
Talking with Ethan Minter of UVA as they get set for Virginia Tech. You know, being a kid from this state, you obviously know how huge this rivalry is. Do you have to impress upon the transfers, the guys who are playing in their first Tech UVA game, about how important this game is?
I think that they understand. I think that's something that we've made known throughout the year, and I think that they're ready to go and feel the same about this rivalry that the guys that have been here feel.
How are you guys handling the noise surrounding the program? There's a lot of outside talk. Obviously, you win, you're in the ACC championship game. And if you win the ACC championship game, you make the college football playoff. How are you guys handling all of the noise surrounding this program?
Yeah, we don't really talk about any of that. We don't really, look at any of that. We kind of just focus on the next game, which is the most important one. So, yeah, the outside noise, that hasn't really affected us or moved us in any direction.
Before the season, your quarterback, Chandler Morris, said, I wasn't coming here to win 6 games. I wasn't coming here to win a bowl game. I was coming here to win the ACC championship and do big things for the program. When he said that, how much confidence did you guys get from your new quarterback coming in and setting some high, lofty goals for you guys?
I feel like it was a great thing when he came in and, kind of showed us how he felt and what he, thought we could accomplish. And we all kind of thought that about ourselves. So it was good to see the leader of one of the leaders of our team, come with that confidence.
It feels like he probably has a lot of energy in practice. Is that true?
Yeah, he does. He's always pretty fired up.
What's it like going up against him in practice? How much does that help you when you go up against other quarterbacks that may be just like him in real games?
I think it helps our defense a lot. He's extremely smart. He's extremely experienced, so he knows how to read a defense. And he's extremely mobile too, which is really how a lot of quarterbacks are these days, which is really helps us going against them.
What is the key for you against mobile quarterbacks? Because you're going to face one on Saturday, Kyron Drones. He's a mobile quarterback. What are some of the keys for you personally when you go up against a guy who can move around in the pocket?
I think just everyone doing their 111th, trying to keep him in the pocket, containing him, and then once he gets out of the pocket, down in the ball.
What have you noticed on film so far from the Hokies that you've seen this week?
They run the ball really well. They have good backs. They have really skilled guys out wide. They have a lot of good personnel, so it's going to be a good matchup.
How important is it if things don't start well to keep your positivity in the huddle and things like that? I know we all know the statistics, how many times they've won the rivalry recently. How important is it if things don't start well, you guys keep your positivity and know that things could get better?
I think it's extremely important to stay poised, but I think that's something that we've done all year as a team. So I don't see us wavering from that.
What's Tony Elliott been like this week? What's the message that he's been telling you guys?
He's just been telling us the same thing he's been telling us every week. He's not approaching this week any differently. We all know the importance and significance of this game. We all know how we feel about it, but we can't change the way we prepare.
What's he been like in year 2 for you? I mean, what have you noticed from your head coach from last year? Has he improved some things? Has he changed some things? Or is he still the same guy from last year?
I think he's still the same guy. I think that Coach E's been the same, since I've been recruited to now. I think that the culture is just finally caught up to what we wanted it to be, to, getting all the guys here that really would buy in. And I think that's really why we're having the season we're having.
This program has had a lot of night games so far this season and a lot of spotlight games. 7 o'clock on ESPN, a lot of people will be watching. What's it like, a night game? Is there a different energy in the stadium when you play at night as opposed to the afternoon?
I think so. I think the night games have a great atmosphere. The light show that they're able to put on, the crowd's always really, really loud. So, yeah, night games always have a great atmosphere.
7 o'clock on Saturday, Virginia Tech. I got to wrap up here. How excited are you for Thanksgiving? Are you going home for Thanksgiving? How are you handling the holiday tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be going to see some of my family after we practice, and then just gonna head back to Charlottesville and continue to prepare tomorrow night.
So no turkey, no stuffing, or are you just going to eat that on campus?
No, I'll get some. I'll go see some family tomorrow afternoon.
Well, Ethan, good luck this weekend against the Hokies, and thank you for giving us some time.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Ethan Minter from UVA. I think that's the key. If you're Virginia Tech, if you can start fast and put some doubt in UVA's mind about the rivalry, about beating Virginia, then I think there's a chance. If Virginia, this is what I've said yesterday, if I'm Virginia and I win the toss, I want the ball. I want the ball, and I want a 7-0 lead. The positive is if you get that 7-0 lead, the game changes. The downside is if you take the ball and you don't score, then it's like, oh boy, this could be trouble, to say the least. But if I'm UVA, I want the ball first. I want to start fast. I want to keep the crowd in it. I want to get a 7-0 lead. I want to make it the Virginia Tech team be the one that's ready to go home. I want to make sure that they're the ones who are doubting themselves. Because let's be honest, Virginia Tech knows there's nothing else to play for. It's the rivalry game. That's it. There's no bowl. A lot of them won't be on the roster next year, whether their eligibility's up or James Franklin doesn't want them. But, beating UVA is all that's left for them. And if they're down 7-0, 10-0, 13-0, 14-0, whatever it is, they'll be ready to go home. And Virginia will coast to an easy victory, and they'll get in the ACC championship against SMU. If it's 7-0 Virginia Tech or 10-0 Virginia Tech, and we're approaching halftime, then things get a little interesting because you're keeping the team. That's always the key. And we'll take a break in a second. We always talk of, in my industry, when it comes to handicapping, you always talk about teams who don't have motivation. And that's right. They may go into the game with no motivation whatsoever, but the longer you keep them hanging around, that motivation level starts going up and up and up. Whereas if you have a team that doesn't want to be there and you knock them down, you score 2 touchdowns in the first couple drives, then you're going to have an easy victory. Case in point, think of our 2 Sunbelt teams. Coastal's playing terribly this season. Coastal wants to be JMU, so that way they can ruin JMU's season. But other than that, they're not very good. If JMU goes up 14-0 early, Coastal will wilt, and then that's it. And then JMU will get the easy win. ODU is hosting Georgia State. Do you think they really want to make the trip from Atlanta to Norfolk when Georgia State's won 1 game so far this season? If the first drive, Colton Joseph runs for an 80-yard touchdown, Georgia State's will be like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to play anymore. And then, ODU will get the easy victory. But if you let them all hang around and you keep them interested, that's where motivation starts going up. If Georgia State is, only down 17-7, it's the third quarter and they're driving and it's 17-14, they're going to be interested. They're going to want to win the game. So that's the key here. Virginia's got to start fast and make Virginia Tech just want to go home. The longer they keep the Hokies fans around, the worse this game will get, and the tighter they will get with everything that's on the line. 327-0888, phone number, text line 804 is the area code. VCU's up 53-48, 13:06 left to go. I'll tell you this, I'm looking at the Gamecast. I'm watching I have the Gamecast up and I have the game on. The Gamecast is like 30 seconds ahead of the TV. 30 seconds, because if you're watching on TV, you have not seen the three-pointer that USF just made. And then you also didn't see the foul that Tyrell Ward just had after an offensive rebound. So if you don't want to know what's going on, don't put on the Gamecast. But if you do want the future and you want to be like that guy, like, ooh, I see USF's making a three-pointer, then go to the Gamecast. You'll win some money. All right, let's take a timeout. Coming up, we will head down to the beach. We will head down to the bar. We will head down to the stadium, wherever Bob is. We will check in with Bob next. He is down in Kissimmee as the Spiders get set for a pair of games on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Bob will join us next for the Mashup Hour. You're listening to 106.1 ESPN.
This year, make a tax-deductible contribution that can change a life. Every day, the American Red Cross helps thousands of people, providing emergency relief, emotional support, and essential care to families in need. We depend on your end-of-year donations to do this critical work. Donate to the American Red Cross before midnight, December 31st, and help us bring hope to a family with nowhere else to turn. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make a donation that will save someone's life. Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, plus the leading technology from Lennox. Now that's a perfect duo. For a limited time, we're offering up to $1,500 in rebates, or qualified buyers make no payments, incur no interest for 60 months when financing a new Lennox system. Plus, receive up to $2,600 in federal tax credits. Call Herman W. Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 804-746-5853, or visit us online at hermanallenplumbing.com to learn more.
High school football under the lights, and Dave & Buster's right there with you. Proud sponsor of our high school football coverage on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Dave & Buster's and Shore Pump is your post-game destination. Bring the whole team or the whole family. Just bring your appetite. 4001 Brownstone Boulevard in Glen Allen. Dave & Buster's. Eat, drink, play, watch with 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
This holiday season, give with joy and help the Salvation Army of Central Virginia continue doing the most good. Every dollar dropped in a red kettle, every hour volunteered, and every angel adopted brings hope to families right here in our community. Your gift provides shelter, after-school care, and critical assistance to neighbors facing hardship year-round. Every dollar raised locally stays local. Join us. Volunteer, adopt an angel, ring the bell, or donate today. Visit SalvationArmyCentralVA.org to learn more.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Richmond LSV is a proud supporter of holiday cheer and gear on December 4th at Henrico Sports and Events Center. RichmondLSV.com. Fun, fully charged.
Guys, don't propose with a ring that she didn't pick out. Trust us, she already has a ring in mind. So engage with Gage Diamonds, in person or online, where Gage's skilled ring designers will work with her to create the perfect setting, matched with the perfect stone. Gage specializes in exquisite lab-grown diamonds. Financing available. GageDiamonds.com, where engagement's middle name.
Find what you love what you find. A total wine and more. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21. From college football to the pros, Matt Josephs has it covered. Border to Border brings you sharp analysis and fearless opinions every weekday at 3.
Don't miss Border to Border on 106.1 ESPN Richmond,
where Richmond talks sports.
You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant.
Is this a Thanksgiving song?
Get anything you want.
Jordan's nodding his head. I did not know that. He is. I did not even task him to find Thanksgiving songs, and he's provided it, which is fantastic, because I thought there were 0 of them. But I like Alice's Restaurant. It's like a 10-minute song or something. That's a fantastic song. Welcome back. It's the Mashup Hour, 106.1 ESPN. Matt Josephs here. As VCU's up 55-50, 11:44 left to go. I guess I should stop giving the GameCast score and give the TV score. But VCU's up 5 with about 11:44 left. Djokovic has been tremendous. He has 16 points leading the way for the Rams. Barry Evans has 10 as the second scorer. We've got basketball all afternoon. We have basketball all day tomorrow in the morning. And we have afternoon basketball as well. And the reason why I say morning is because the Richmond Spiders are playing at 11 a.m. down in Kissimmee, Florida. That is where my partner in crime is. He is joining us now as well. Bob, what's going on?
Matt, I wish I could tell you that the reason I'm on the phone talking to you and not on our studio quality line is because I am poolside or in the pool or at the bar or at Disney World, but that's not the case. Minnie and Mickey have crossed up our lines, and that's the problem this afternoon. So we're trying to work that out. In the interim, you get me on the phone. It's a beautiful day down here. Lots of basketball here as well, Matt. There are 3 different tournaments going on here at ESPN Wide World of Sports. The Spiders involved in the middle of the 3 that begins tomorrow. As you said, the first one wrapping up today, and then the last one will be played over Thanksgiving weekend here in Orlando.
Yes, you said you were wondering if you were going to run into Alan York and the Liberty crowd. They are playing right now. Are you staying in the same hotel as Liberty?
I have not seen Liberty in our hotel. I'm guessing by the bracket they have positioned us at different hotels because all 4 of the teams that are in the Spiders bracket, Furman, Illinois State, and Charlotte, are here in this hotel. So I'm guessing they're spread out around Disney World and around Orlando.
So the most important question is, and this was a question that Sean and Rob had, have you had Terry's chocolate yet, and have you put it in your bag for us on the way home yet?
The answer to both of those questions is no. Now, I went over to the arena today just to do a little, site survey, scouting report, and I didn't see any Terry's chocolate anywhere because I certainly would have brought it back immediately. So I'm a little disappointed by that, but I'm going to wait until tomorrow to see if maybe it shows up for our first day there tomorrow. And I promise I will bring some home for all you hard-working fellas back there at the radio station.
So what's the vibe you're getting from the team, Bob? The first game that they're playing outside of their gymnasium, it's a neutral site game. What is the vibe you're getting from the team so far?
So we've been saying this, and I think they would echo this as we talk, casually here at the hotel and prepping for the game. It's time to take this show on the road, right? They've played 5 straight home games against pretty much inferior competition. East Carolina, okay. William and Mary, okay. But other than that, inferior competition. So I think it's time to take this show on the road, get out of the friendly confines of the Robins Center. And truthfully, they're going on the road, but these are not true road games. These are 2 neutral court games the next 2 days. And I think we'll learn a lot more about the Spiders from these 2 games. I mean, Furman is a program, not really even a team. They're a program that's been really good under Bob Ritchie basically for a decade now. I mean, they won 25 games last year. 2 years ago, they had the 28-win season when they beat UVA, ironically enough, right here in Orlando in the NCAA tournament. They're coming off of their first D1 win of the season Sunday, so not really sure what to expect from them. They're probably asking the same question about themselves that Richmond is asking about them. So we'll get a much better idea where the Spiders are, I think, after the Furman game tomorrow. And then if the Spiders are fortunate enough to get to the championship and get a matchup with Illinois State, I think they'll really learn something there because Illinois State is the preseason favorite in the Missouri Valley Conference.
So we've talked about it, and we talked about it on Monday. What are your thoughts on all the MTEs and all the things that are going on in college basketball? I'm sure you've read a lot on Twitter about the outrage involving the Players Era tournament and how it's ruining Feast Week. So what's your stance on these MTEs and kind of the future as it relates to this Players Era tournament?
Well, I don't think it's ruining Feast Week or college basketball, but I don't quite understand why they felt they had to go so far out of the box to deliver the matchups to us that we wanted. Why they couldn't have just traditionally gone with the bracket and the winners play the winners and the losers play the losers. I understand they want to be different and they're giving a lot of money to these schools, so they wanted to come up with some complex formula to deliver the championship game, which didn't really seem to work out. But I don't think it's ruining college basketball, but I do think it needs to be tweaked. And I guess, according to the organizer, it will be tweaked in some way, shape, or form for next year. The rest of the MTE seemed to be, pretty good. You gave the VCU score. I see they're up 9 with about 9 minutes to go in the second half at Atlantis. I'm sure they're having a great time down there in the Bahamas. We've got 3 straight tournaments going here. All of the other sites are playing those tournaments. I watched some of the Maui Invitational, maybe not the same level of teams that they've had in the past, but I don't think this is ruining Feast Week for college basketball fans.
Yeah, I think people are just frustrated by the whole pay for play sort of situation and everything, and I think they're just kind of frustrated like you with the lack of a bracket and just kind of feels like they're just kind of making things up as they go along.
Yeah, I just try to ignore the whole pay-to-play thing as much as I can while the games are on my TV screen and just kind of enjoy the games for what they are and some of the really good matchups that have occurred, not only in that tournament, but in several of the others. And, these teams are going to find places to play. I don't think the MTEs are going away. I certainly hope they're not for all the mid-major schools that get some opportunities to play at least fellow mid-major teams, if not some of the Power 4 conference teams. So I hope these continue. I think they will, but I think they'll look a little bit different moving forward.
Yeah, we just need to somehow get you to the Bahamas, Bob. I mean, listen, Kissimmee's fine, but we know you need to be on a beach somewhere in an island.
So we've been to the Bahamas twice. It's funny you say that because we were just talking about it last night. We were at the Baha Mar tournament, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. It was one of Richmond's better teams. It was in the Jacob Gilliard, Grant Golden era, and that was tremendous. That was really better than I thought it was going to be because I didn't know much about Baha Mar, and I guess you could say it's a little bit of a smaller tournament than the one in Atlantis. But the one year that we went to Atlantis, Matt, was the year before the tournament became the tournament. And they were just kind of experimenting with playing college basketball in the Bahamas. And they played a triple header, not a tournament. They brought in 6 teams and played 3 straight games and got a feel for the ballroom where you're watching VCU play right now and putting the teams in the hotel and all of that. So it was an experiment. And, Matt, we were literally there for 4 days to play one game. That was great. Talking about getting to a beach, we had plenty of opportunity to get to the beach rather than what they do now, which is like 3 games in 4 days. So I'm all in to go back to the Bahamas if they'll invite us to come back.
Yeah, that would be that. They look like Tech and UV and VCU look like they're having a lot of fun. I've seen a lot of the pictures that the Twitter accounts are posting. It's a work trip, obviously, Bob, but they're going to mix in a little beach time if they get the chance.
Not only beach time, Matt, but I will tell you, and I'm not talking out of school here because it's right there for public eyes, it's casino time as well because the hotel, I assume it's the same resort where we stayed even 10 years ago or whenever it was. You literally have to walk through the casino to get to the ballroom where they're playing the game. So it's right there for the taking. I can tell you that there was plenty of people partaking from all of the schools, whether they were fans or in other positions. So it really is a great tournament at Atlantis. And I think that one certainly will continue moving forward.
All right, 327-0888, phone number, text line 804 is the area code. All right, let's take a timeout because I got to give you time, Bob. I don't know if you brought the Post-it notes with you to the trip, but we had a request yesterday that somebody wanted us to do our top 5 for this week, so we have to do our top 5. So I'm going to let you have the break. I'm going to let you find some Post-it notes in the hotel room, Bob, and then we'll do our top 5 for college football. And then how about after that, next week we start doing our college basketball top 5?
I love it, and obviously, as we talked earlier, Matt, that will take a little more doing because I think there are 13 maybe Division I basketball schools in the Commonwealth as opposed to just the 5 football schools. But yes, I've got pen and pad, and I'm scribbling feverishly to come up with my top 5 college football teams in our Big 5 for this week.
All right, let's take our timeout. Bob down in Kissimmee. I am here in studio. We'll take a timeout, do our final segment for the Mashup Hour, 106.1 ESPN.
Hi, this is Jeff Henderson with Hometown Realty and RCI Builders. If you're looking for land and want a new house, please give me a call. RCI Builders will build one of their great houses on your lot, or we can help you find a lot. Our goal is to help you get the house you want on the lot you want. Doesn't that sound great? My cell is 804-432-7436. So give me a call and let's get started today. 804-432-7436.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PIPE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PIPE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PIPE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Celebrate the Richmond region's most inspirational sports stories at the RVA Sports Awards, Saturday, January 31st at the Altria Theater. Reserve your tickets now at visitrichmondva.com.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The first week in December is Holiday Cheer and Gear Week at Henrico Sports and Event Center. Stop by to drop off gear Thursday at the Battle of the Badges game or in the lobby Saturday and Sunday.
Talk about stepping up. It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
ESPN Bet is becoming the score bet this December. The same betting app you love with a new look and promos curated just for you. Existing ESPN Bet customers don't have to change a thing. Your account, wallet, and bets will all remain the same. Plus, kick things off right now by logging in and claiming a 100% profit boost. More action, more rewards, more for you. The score bet coming this December. 21 plus, gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
From Hot Topics in the morning to Spider Pride in the evening, 106.1 ESPN Richmond keeps you talking. Fits the bill. Border to Border, the Mashup Hour, and the Sports Huddle. Always live and always local. 106.1, where Richmond talks sports.
Time to celebrate the season, haven't eaten all day. My tummy is growling because I've been saving up space.
Who is this, Jordan?
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood did a Thanksgiving song. Okay. Never would have guessed that. Bob, Jordan has been regaling us with Thanksgiving songs all day today. I didn't even know there was one of them. Apparently there's about 4 or 5 of them.
I love Thanksgiving songs because I love Thanksgiving. So keep them coming, Jordan, because the Spiders are actually celebrating Thanksgiving tonight, Matt. They're going to do their here at the hotel so that when daybreak hits, we'll be totally in basketball mode. So for Thursday and Friday, it will be just like being on any other road trip. So they're celebrating a little early tonight, and there's nothing wrong with that.
All right, Bob, we got about 5 minutes here before we have to go. So I'm just going to let you go down your top 5, 1 to 5, and explain it. And then I'm probably going to agree, and that'll probably be it for our top 5s for this year.
Yeah, I don't think this has changed from last week. I really don't. I mean, JMU struggled but found a way to win against Washington State, so I would keep them right up there at the top. UVA didn't play, so I don't really see any reason to move them one way or the other, so I would keep them certainly at number 2, and I actually think they're going to win this week, Matt. I think they're finally going to do it against Virginia Tech. Look, if it's not going to happen this year, goodness only knows when it will happen, because obviously James Franklin is already starting to get things done in Blacksburg with the one commit that he's already had flipped from Penn State to the Hokies, so I think UVA gets that done this time around. I love what Old Dominion is doing right now and anxiously await their bowl destination, because they've certainly deserved it with the type of season that Ricky Ronnie has put together there. And I hope Ricky Ronnie was true to his word and he remains Old Dominion's head coach and isn't going to go join Coach Franklin at Virginia Tech, which I would put in the number 4 spot. And I don't think they win this week. Look, we've given them all the credit in the world since the Brent Pry firing for how hard they've played and how much they've stayed focused and into it. But results-driven business, and the results just haven't been there for them. And then our favorite team to kind of, pound on a little bit, Liberty, would be my number 5. So I think that's the order that we're going to have. But JMU, UVA, Old Dominion, Virginia Tech, Liberty.
Yeah, it's my same. I mean, look, Liberty keeps losing, so they're going to stay down there. Tech keeps losing, so they're going to stay down there. ODU keeps winning. So, yeah, I agree. I really do. I mean, listen, if JMU or UVA loses, then obviously we'll address that. But I just think they're so far ahead of everybody. I can't see ODU getting over UVA this season. But I think that's about right, Bob. And we'll see. JMU's got to put style points up on Saturday. And look, I think UVA's got to put rivalry style points up, because I think they've got to get their frustrations out for how bad this rivalry has been lately. I think they've got to score a bunch to kind of feel better.
Yeah, no, I do too. I mean, obviously they want the offense to be clicking as they go into what they hope will be the ACC championship game. And I think they need to play as clean a game as they possibly can. And they're coming off a game, right, where they played pretty well in all 3 phases of the game. So, yes, I think UVA needs to do that for their own well-being. And I think JMU needs to do it to try and impress some of those voters, which I don't think either one of us think is going to happen at the end of the day. And I just can't see, at least myself, shifting this Big 5 here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I think pretty much all 5 of them are locked in. I guess maybe if Virginia Tech knocks off UVA and Old Dominion loses, there'd be a change if we came back to it again one more time. But if this is the way it's going to end, I feel pretty good about my voting for the top 5, for the Big 5 for this year. It's been fun.
All right, Bob, we will be tuning in tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. pregame, 11 a.m. the start time, Richmond against Furman, live from Kissimmee, Florida. We appreciate the time, Bob. Enjoy your Thanksgiving tonight.
And we will get you out of there as early as we can tomorrow, Matt, so that you can enjoy your Thanksgiving on Thursday as well.
All right. Thank you, Bob. And we'll look forward to having you back on Monday when you're here back in RVA. Enjoy your trip.
Absolutely. It'll be 3 o'clock on Monday, Matt. Remember, put that on your calendar there. We've got the coaches show that starts Monday night as well.
Sounds good. Thank you, Bob. All right, that is Bob down in Florida, and that'll do it for the mashup hour. 66-57, VCU's up over South Florida. 5:07 left to go. South Florida heading to the free throw line. So the Rams, who've looked good offensively so far, not shooting well from three, 5 of 20, but they're getting to the free throw line, and they're doing very well with the offensive rebounds. 14 offensive rebounds so far, so we'll see if the Rams can hold on. As I said, no show tomorrow, no show Friday. So we will be back on Monday. We're going to do our normal coaches show schedule. So Bob will be on from 3 until 4 with the Sports Huddle. We'll do the mashup hour 4 until 5, and then I'll be on from 5 until 6, and that's what we'll do every Monday during the coaches show time coming up. So everybody, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy your Black Friday. However you want to shop or sit at home. Maybe watch the Eagles hopefully win. However you want to enjoy it. Thanks to Jordan for all of his hard work. Stick around through the break, though. Talkin' Dukes is coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll get into all sorts of different things involving the JMU football program and the basketball program, as well as the other ones as well. Talk to you after the break. 106.1 ESPN.
Tune into the ESPN Richmond Herman Allen Sports Play of the Day, presented exclusively by Herman Allen Plumbing and Cooling, your premier Lennox dealer.
At East Coast